Suits has proved on more than one occasion that the legal drama's driving force and true protagonist was Mike Ross. Released in 2011, Suits instantly drew audiences with its unusual story about a fake lawyer with a photogenic memory who got hired at one of the biggest firms in New York. Given Suits' success, it's not surprising that it eventually got spin-offs. Unfortunately, while both Pearson and Suits LA had their merits, they failed to capture what led to the original show's success. Suits was really a cut above the rest in the legal drama world. Although Suits wasn't necessarily the same in its last 2 seasons, that in itself highlighted a harsh reality about the show that the spin-offs should have learned from. Suits' characters were the real selling point of the series, and while names like Donna, Jessica, Louis, Rachel, and Harvey were all great, it's Mike who truly stole the show. The franchise's failure to understand that is one of the reasons why Suits LA was cancelled. Suits LA's cancellation is another reminder that Suits was about Mike Ross. Mike Ross was the glue that held Suits together. 6 years after Pearson was cancelled after 1 season, another Suits spin-off shared the same fate. Both Pearson and Suits LA were missing a key ingredient that made the original show stand out from other generic legal dramas. While Suits LA was an entertaining series, it didn't have the spark that defined Suits, and that was Mike Ross. Granted, Ted Black was an interesting enough lead character, but there was nothing particularly extraordinary about him other than that he was a good lawyer. Mike, on the other hand, stood out for a variety of reasons. He had a photogenic memory, had a great sense of loyalty, and he was practicing law without ever graduating from law school or passing the bar. Suits' premise was about Mike and his relationship with his mentor. So it's no wonder that the series fell apart without him and that Suits LA didn't work without such an enthralling primary protagonist such as Mike. Mike Ross' secret is what made Suits more than just another legal drama. Without Mike's secret, Suits lost its best hook. At its core, Suits wasn't a show about lawyers or the interesting cases they handled. It was about 2 friends going up against the world. For 5 seasons, Mike's secret was the backbone of Suits, so when everyone found out that he had been doing something illegal, the show lost its hook. Mike not being a real lawyer raised ethical questions and kept the other characters who knew he was a fraud on edge, which in turn kept the show going. Mike's true identity added a high-stakes situation that no other similar show had. Suits changed drastically without the hook of Mike's secret, a problem that became even worse once Patrick J. Adams left the show entirely. While there were good things about Suits' final 2 seasons, they are widely considered the show's worst. In other words, Suits just wasn't the same without Mike. Harvey is great, but the Suits franchise needs both of its protagonists. Harvey and Mike's dynamic was the best thing about Suits. Harvey is undoubtedly one of Suits' best characters. His charisma, arrogance, and complexity saved the show after Patrick J. Adams left. However, without Mike, Harvey's storyline became a tad boring. Mike and Harvey were a dynamic duo that fed off each other's energy. Harvey taught Mike how to be a good lawyer, and Mike, in turn, showed that Harvey did have a soft side due to how he cared for his protege. Suits seasons 8 and 9 tried to go on without the show's best team, and it failed to do so. Suits LA suffered a similar problem, as it didn't really have a relationship that was as strong and entertaining as the one between Mike and Harvey. It's difficult to replicate the kind of witty banter that the 2 primary protagonists of Suits had, and it's ultimately why the spin-off shows couldn't achieve the same level of success as the original show.